Can we stop treating sourdough like it's just a recipe? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery. Allow me to show you the 10 steps that I use to simplify sourdough. Step 1, mix. This recipe is for 2 loaves, so if you want to do 1 loaf, just cut the recipe in half. 675 grams of water. I'm going to add 200 grams of active sourdough starter. Mix that up until the sourdough starter is dissolved and you have a milk consistency. 1,000 grams of all-purpose or bread flour. Don't forget the salt, 10 grams. What we're looking for is for everything to be incorporated to the point where there's no dry spots. And it's going to look messy. Don't panic. Step 2, flap and folds. Trust me, you'll get a better result if you don't skip this step. Very lightly mist your hands. I'm going to slap it down onto the counter and I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to then grab it this way, pick it up. I'm going to slap it and fold it over. I recommend doing it for about 5 minutes. Structure starts here. If your arms get tired and you want to stop, that's fine. Any amount that you do this is better than none at all. So it's still going to feel sticky. Promise you, it'll get better. Plop it into the bowl. Bam. And that will take us to step 3, which is to rest. We're going to take a rest too. Step 4, bulk fermentation. Bulk fermentation is going to consist of 3 to 4 stretch and folds. And the way that I do my stretch and folds is to do coil folds. Grab it from underneath and pull it up until it pulls away from the bowl. Then I'm going to let it go down and fall onto itself. I'm going to turn the bowl a quarter turn and do the exact same thing a few more times. So at the end of this stretch and fold, the dough is already feeling less sticky, airy. So I'm going to tuck kind of everything underneath so that it's a nice taut ball. I'm going to cover her up, let her rest another 30 minutes. All right, we're still in step 4. This is what my dough looks like after it rested. I'm misting my hands lightly so that the dough doesn't stick to them. And I'm picking it up from underneath and stretching it. I'm going to let that dough fall down back onto itself. I'm going to do the quarter turn of the bowl and I'm going to lift it up. It already feels more plump and airy and it's not nearly as sticky. I'm going to leave it here to rest another 30 minutes. For the sake of time and trying to fit this all into one video, I'm not going to show all 4 stretch and folds. Once it's ready, I'll show you what it looks like. When bulk fermentation is done, we're ready to move on to step 5, which is to pre-shape. This is the fun part, my favorite. So how do we know when bulk fermentation is done? It will have some air bubbles on the surface. It will be jiggly as I move the dough. It pulls nice and cleanly away from the side of the bowl. I'm going to turn it out onto the surface and shape it up. Since this recipe was for 2 loaves, I'm going to cut this in half. And what you really want to do is push and pull. All you're trying to do is to get it kind of into a ball shape. You want to help it along so that it knows where to go when we're ready to do our final shape. I'm going to scoop underneath it. I'm going to start to push. And then I'm going to turn the bench scraper around and pull back. So I'm pushing forward to make room for when I pull back. Push and pull. And when you're pulling, you're going to touch your 2 middle fingers together. You want to drag it along the counter so that you're building up tension on the surface of the dough. So you're pushing, turning, pulling. Pushing, turning, pulling. And then you got to slap it. It's my favorite part. One of the reasons why I recommend that you use water instead of flour is because if you put too much flour down on your bench, it's going to stop the dough from sticking just enough so that you can drag and get that tension. Pre-shape, done. We're going to cover these, let them rest for 20-ish minutes. We'll come back, do the final shape, get them into the refrigerator. After the short rest, step 6, final shape. Scoop it, flip it over. Now there's a lot of different ways that you can do your final shape. This is my preferred method. Just kind of use my fingers to spread it out a little bit. Do the trifold. Push the seams. Get up. Fold it over. Pinch all the seams shut. Ooh, the little pop, pop, pop. Popping the little bubbles. So satisfying. It's like adult Play-Doh. And I turn it and roll it up. Squish it to pinch the seam here. Poke, pinch. Poke, pinch. Ooh, all those bubbles. Love it. Flour the Banneton. Pick it up. Pop it in. Seam side up. Cover it. It'll go in the fridge for step 7, which is cold fermentation. Recommend that you do that at least overnight. I do it up to 24 hours. Tomorrow, we're going to get to bake it up. All right, it's tomorrow. We're going to bake up our loaf. Now I have a silicone bread sling here. You can use parchment paper. You can use, I know some people use like those little inserts for their air fryers. So I just turn this out onto the bread sling. Ooh, look how plump she is. This is going to be a good loaf, folks. I'm not going to do any fancy scoring here. That's for a different video. So for simplicity purposes for today, I'm going to take my lamb. You don't need one of these, but I recommend a razor blade or a really sharp knife. And you want to do quick, confident score right down the middle. So I'm just going to, that's it. I'm going to hoist her into a Dutch oven. I highly recommend that you bake in a Dutch oven. The reason that you do that is so it traps in the steam and the heat. Because steam is so important to bread, I'm going to drop in a few ice cubes. This Dutch oven was preheated in my oven for 30 minutes at 425 degrees. I'm going to go put the lid on, put it in for 25 minutes with the lid on, 20 minutes with the lid off, 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. She's fresh out of the oven. Oh, my heart. I've been doing this for years and it always gets me every time. Ain't she a beaut? And you can do this too. You can do this. I'm going to take her temp just to make sure she's done all the way through. All right. She reached optimal temp, which is 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I know everybody says wait an hour until it cools. I purposely left this one in the oven an extra 5 minutes to make sure that it was done cooking all the way through so that I could cut it right away. Your bread will dry out faster if you cut it right away when it comes out of the oven because all that steam's going to escape. I don't care. I became a baker because I like fresh, hot bread out of the oven. And it's my bread. I'll do what I want. Ready? She's beautiful. Steaming. Need a little flaky sea salt? You know. Cheers. Oh yeah, babe. A little more salt. You aren't doing this. What are you even doing? Till next time. Happy baking.